If you've been wanting to bake a healthier sourdough without giving up that soft, airy crumb, this 50% whole wheat loaf is the perfect balance. I'll walk you through exactly how to get the great structure, flavor, and rise without ending up with a dense loaf. To your bowl, you will add 100 grams of active sourdough starter, 375 grams of filtered water. You will mix these two together until you've dissolved most of the starter. Sometimes I can't dissolve every single piece and it turns out fine. So go ahead and mix everything and then you will add 30 grams of honey, 15 grams of olive oil. You can leave these two out if you don't want to add them to your loaf. I like to add them because I like how soft it makes my sourdough, and it also enhances some of that flavor because of the honey. But if you want a more rustic, classic, tartine type of wheat loaf, you can go ahead and leave it out. But now we add 250 grams of this whole wheat flour from King Arthur, and then we add 250 grams of the Kirkland all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour if you like, but this is the flour that I have. And then we add 10 grams of sea salt. And now you mix everything together until there are no pockets of flour left over. You want to make sure that all of the flour is hydrated. You can do a fermentolise or an autolyse, but I do not do that. What works for me is letting the dough sit for an hour after the initial mix. This helps the flour hydrate and become easier to work with. As you can see here, my hands are wet and I am pulling on the dough and folding it over, and it's not overly sticky. You want to do a few slap and folds, but very, very gentle. If you've seen my videos, you know I do this for a few seconds, up to like 30 seconds, but here I did it for about 15 seconds because this dough can tear very, very easily. The trick is to not overwork the dough. It's better if you're gentle on the dough and do more sets of stretch and folds if the dough needs it. So this right here is the second set, and I also waited an hour in between each set. You have to let the dough fully relax before doing another set, because then the dough will start to tear because it is not fully relaxed. So here I am doing the same thing, stretching the dough, folding it over, doing super gentle slap and folds, and then you wait another hour and then we do our third and fourth set. For our third and fourth set, we will only do coil folds, being very gentle, grabbing the dough from under and just folding it over itself. Basically, you can see that the dough is starting to rise and it is looking fluffy and aerated. It's not sticking to my hands anymore. You can see that the dough is starting to keep its shape a bit more. If your dough isn't keeping its shape, you will probably need a fifth or even a sixth set of stretch and folds. Mine is super fluffy and already keeping its shape. When I pull on the dough doing the coil folds, there's not really much to pull on anymore. It's just coming off of the bowl very easily. That's when I know I'm done with the stretch and folds, and now it can sit on the counter until it is ready to be shaped. You can see here that the dough has risen. It has a few bubbles on the top. I had someone tell me that if you poke the dough before shaping it, if it has a slight indent, it is ready for shaping. So that's what I was doing here. I was testing out that theory and it worked. But I'm not 100% sure that that's exactly what happens. So I will keep testing it out to see if it actually works. So now I am shaping my dough, and as you can see here, I do not have any extra flour on my mat. My dough is not overly sticky. If your dough is a little bit tacky or sticky, you can wet your hands and it'll be easier to handle your dough. It will not stick to your hands as much or onto your counter. So you can even spray a tiny bit of water on your mat or your surface of choice. For the pre-shape, you want to be super gentle. You do not want to have a super tight ball because it can start to tear. I let my dough rest on the counter for about 10 or 15 minutes, and now I have a plate with water and a plate with oats, because I do like to add oats on top of the dough for any of my wheat loaves, and it just gives it the best flavor. It enhances it and it just gives it a little crunch. It's so good. You guys should try it. So what I do is I do a single catty clasp on my dough. I put it right on top of that water and then right on top of the oats. And you can see here, I did not speed this up. I wanted you guys to see how I take my time. I'm not panicking. Your dough can sense fear. So what I tell myself is just be gentle, do it with confidence, and your dough will do whatever you want it to do. So you can see here, I'm just pinching it shut, and then I'm going to put it straight into the banneton, and you can see all of the bubbles right on top of the dough. That means it is well fermented and it has a lot of air in it, and look at how jiggly it looks. It's super soft, and I am going to pinch it shut, and then I let the dough rest for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and that way I could do a proper stitch. Being super gentle, I grab the dough from one side and I overlap it from that middle seam. That way it can create a little bit of tension. And then I put a little plastic wrap right on top of the dough. That way it doesn't dry out in the refrigerator. Look at that jiggle. That's exactly what we want to see. So now we let it sit in the refrigerator for a cold proof, and then when you are ready to bake, you want to preheat your oven to 500 degrees. And you will bake it for 25 minutes with the lid on, and then you will lower the temperature to 450 degrees and bake for an additional 10 to 15 minutes depending on your desired browning of your loaf. So here I am scoring my dough, being very gentle, and this is the end result. Look at the beauty of this loaf. The oats add a really nice touch to it. It looks nice, it looks professional, it looks like you got it from a bakery, but even better. My sister says it looks like a vegan, organic, gluten-free loaf, and I totally agree. This one tastes exactly what wheat bread tasted like as a child. Now the wheat bread is super sweet. It doesn't taste healthy at all. So this loaf took me back to my childhood. And look at that beautiful crumb. It's super soft. It tastes delicious, even with the 50% wheat flour. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.